Hi, this is Karen. I'm with InspiredByGram.com. Welcome to my channel. Today is my Simple Stamping Sunday card. It uses the Peony Garden Designer Series paper along with a couple different stamps in a die cut here, which is very simple to do. So we're going to get started creating the card. All right, so we need our basic gray ink, Petal Pink. I use the stitch shapes in the circle, and this is the next to large circle. The stamp sets I chose is Tasteful Touches, along with the Itty Bitty Birthdays, because I like this stamp set because they're long and narrow sentiments that will easily fit on a banner. And again, the Peony Garden Designer Series paper. This is on special for the month of October, 15% off, so it's a great time to stock up on Designer Series paper. All right, so I've got my Whisper White envelope. I've got my, this is gray granite. This card, I'm actually making a top fold card rather than the kind of a book fold. All right, so this is cut 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. I have my Petal Pink panel, which is 4 by 5 1/4. And I've got a Whisper White panel, which I'm going to stamp for the inside. This is also cut 4 by 5 1/4. This is basic gray, and it's 2 by 4. And then I've got the Peony Garden. This is 3 by 4. My stitched shapes, the circle. And that was in Whisper White. And this is basic gray. This is 1/2 inch by 3. So we're going to do all of our stamping first. So I've got my panels. All right, in my envelope. Okay, so you're going to need some scrap paper. So I'm going to grab some scrap paper here. You can see I've already used this one quite a bit. All right, so we're going to stamp our peony with the Petal Pink ink. And since this is a lighter panel, I'm going to go full strength with the ink. So I've got that peony and it's mounted on a D block. And we're just going to stamp this right down in the middle. Looks like that. We'll set this aside. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take that Petal Pink panel and we're going to stamp off and then stamp on. I just want a really light shade of that peony so it doesn't overpower that Designer Series paper. So I'm just going to randomly stamp all the way around. And maybe one more. Now I'm going to make sure that the Designer Series paper that I'm going to put on here, it's going to look, it looks good and there's no like really empty spot. So I think that looks pretty good. So we've got this one complete. Our inside panel, Whisper White, we're just going to stamp that peony just in the lower right corner there. Adds a little interest to the inside. The Whisper White panel or envelope, we're just going to do the same thing, but I'm just going to stamp it off over here in the left corner. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, let me just flip this over so you can see a little bit better. This is gray granite and it's a 1/2 inch by 3. I'm going to make a banner out of it and I'm going to be using the Lovely Labels banner. And this punch has 2 different designs here. I'm going to use the one that's more of a straight across. And hopefully I can get this. The 1/2 inch one is a little bit harder to get into that track there. All right, that looks okay. And then we're just going to turn it around and punch again. So not too bad. We'll throw those little pieces away. Now we're going to bring in our Let's Celebrate You, and that comes from the Itty Bitty Birthdays. And I've got my basic gray ink. We're just going to stamp right down there and call it good. All right, so now we just need to, actually one more piece here. I forgot, we need to stamp on the basic gray. Again, I'm going to stamp with that Peony full strength because you want a darker ink on that dark panel. So just randomly stamp. Okay, it looks just like that. Now we assemble the card. So let's bring in our panel here. This is our card base, top fold. And we'll use our Petal Pink here. Just add my adhesive here. This is a new Stampin' seal. There is a little learning curve to it, but once you get it down, it's like really nice. The grip and the size of the adhesive is so much better than that snail. All right, so that's that. This panel here, again, that's 2 by 4. We're gonna add adhesive on all 4 sides. And then we're just going to add it. I'm just looking at the directions of the peonies that I stamped. So I want them going up. We're only going to see a little bit of it, but I just want to make sure they were going in the correct direction. Then we're going to add this here. This is the back side, kind of boring, so we're going to go with that flower side up. Whoops, up facing us. I'm just going to add again that adhesive all the way around. This is a directional pattern, so I'm going to make sure those peonies are going up straight. And then I'm going to center top, bottom, left and right. Okay, so let's work with our focal point. We need some Stampin' dimensionals, so I'm going to add 3 to the back side of the stitched shaped circle. And then I'm just going to press the back side there to release the backings. And make sure I throw those right in the garbage. I don't want those going anywhere but the garbage. All right, so now we're going to just put this right here. And before I secure it, I'm just going to make sure it's centered, and it's just a little off, so I'm just going to move it a little bit. Okay, it looks pretty good, so I'm just going to give it a good press. Now we're going to take our sentiment. I'm going to add 3 dimensionals to the back side of this. And again, we're going to release those backings by just pressing our thumbnail into the back side of the dimensional and peel those right off. Now we'll bring our card back in here, and I'm just going to set this right down. And I'm kind of looking at this darker gray panel here just to make sure it's in the middle and that it's straight. And if I'm happy with it, we'll just press it right down. And then the final, well, actually not the final touch, but we're going to add a linen thread. This is linen thread, and I created a bow out of it. We're just going to add it right over here off to the side. And now I'm going to trim the tails with my snips, paper snips. Okay, so let's add that inside panel. And I just added adhesive to the top side here. I'll open this card up and add it with a 1/4 inch border on all 4 sides. And then the final touch is I wanted to add a little bit of glitter to the peony. So I'm just going to take my Wink of Stella, and I'm just going to simply color around here. And the liquid from the Wink of Stella is going to fill in. It's taking that ink, and it's moving it right into that whisper white area. And it's also adding a little bit of glitter to the flower. I'm not sure if you can see that on camera, but it does glitter right all over there. So that's our card for today. So let's bring in our envelope. I actually made 3 of these, so this is the one we made today. And all 3 have different designer series paper, so you can see the difference. This here, I stamped off, and then I stamped on, so that's 2nd generation ink. This is 1st generation ink. And then this is also 1st generation ink. So same pattern, but just a little bit different. So all these supplies you can purchase at my website, inspiredbygram.com. Thanks for watching.